You can use the AVERAGEIF function in Excel to average numbers that meet a certain criteria. In this case, we want to average the final averages for seniors. So for example, I want to see how well the seniors did overall in their final averages. So I have the grade, the final average for each student here. What we want to do is find those who are seniors and average all of their averages together to get an overall view for how they performed. Let's go into Q4 and find the AVERAGEIF function. And there are 3 items here that we need to complete: the range, the criteria, and the average range. For our example here, we want to look at the final averages for seniors. So our criteria will be senior. And in this case, our value in the data is SR for senior. So that's what we'll use for our criteria. The range is where you will find the value for the criteria. So in this case, our classification column holds the criteria values for the students. So we need to look in that column to find SR. The average range is just what it says. What is the range of cells that contain the values that you would like to average? In this case, it's going to be our final average column. And we can see that our averages for seniors would be 76.5. So on average, the seniors made a 76.15. Let's do the same for freshmen. Okay, so in this case, again, we are looking at the classification. So our range will hold the classification for freshmen. We'll look in this column in order to find the freshmen and average the final scores here. Overall, the freshmen made around a 77.9 in the class. So we could continue this for a number of different purposes. But let's look at this one. We want to look at the final averages of those who have absences that are greater than 2. So how will we do this? Okay, again, we're going to average the averages to get an overall view if the absences are greater than 2. So our criteria will be the absences if it's greater than 2. So the number of absences are in column D. So that will be our range in which to find the criteria of greater than 2. Now if it's greater than 2, what will we average? And that's going to be the student's average. Notice that the greater than 2, it automatically includes those in quotation marks, seeing it as text. So you have to be careful about that. That's not used a lot when you are making comparisons when you add those quotation marks. So just be careful about that. It does add those for you in this case. So we see that for those students who had absences that were 2 or more absences, the grade was around a 65. So let's do that and make a comparison for those who had less than or equal to 2 absences. Okay, again, the criteria is the absences. So we're going to go to the number of absences column. That will be our range. We want to find any that are less than or equal to 2. And our average range will be the final grade average. Now, for the students who had fewer absences, the score was much higher.